Since the official kickoff of the Port Harcourt Refinery, controversies have sparked debates about the refinery's operation and the transparency of the NNPCL. Some inherent key issues are: number one, pricing. It's alleged the refinery's products are being sold without a clear price tag, leading to confusion amongst marketers and consumers. There's also the issue of production concerns. Allegations that the refinery is not actually producing PMS, but rather buying raw materials from a nearby fertilizer company. Now, there's also the concern of transparency about the NNPCL and, of course, the refinery's operations. Joining me on the program at this time to discuss this is Bedford Berefa. He's the national spokesperson for the Ijaw Youth Council Worldwide. He joins me from Delta State. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, yes, the Port Harcourt Refinery, the conversation has been long overdue. There has been multiple adjournments as regards its operation date, and eventually it's kicked off, even amidst a plethora of controversies. Are you surprised with all of these controversies, or is it just a reflection of maybe from some quarters the lack of trust, of the government?
All right, thank you for having me. First and foremost, we have to commend this laudable implementation or kickstarting of the refinery that has aged long for the last 27 years, has been on the pipeline, that stopped production for the last 27 years. So kudos to Mr. President and kudos to the
Bedford Berefa, are you there? I think we have a bit of connectivity issues with Bedford there. But just to bring you up to speed as regards some of the things, or controversies around the Port Harcourt Refinery, even though some of this has been dispelled, there are complex issues, arising from there. Now, part of those include the heart of the matter, where the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, that's the NNPCL, claimed that the refinery has commenced operations, but with no clear pricing on its products. Now, this, of course, has raised eyebrows, especially since the refinery is supposed to be producing at 70% capacity, with plans to ramp up to 90%. One of the main concerns is that the refinery's products are being sold without a clear price tag, just like I mentioned, which of course has led to confusion amongst marketers and consumers. Now, the Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, that's Petroleum, has stated that the refinery has not released any new purchase price for premium motor spirit, PMS, which is popularly known as petrol, and that they are still buying at the old price. There's also furthermore allegations that the refinery is not actually producing PMS, which of course has been pretty much right, but rather producing raw materials from nearby fertilizer company to convert into fuel. Now, the NNPCL has denied these claims, stating that they are getting C5, that's a pentane for PMS production from Indorama, which is the company, the fertilizer company that was being dragged into all of this controversy. Now, this controversy has continued to spark debates about the refinery's operations and even the issue of transparency on the part of the NNPCL. Some have questioned the refinery's ability to produce at the claimed capacity, while others have raised concerns about the environmental impact of the refinery's operations. Now, just to, of course, highlight some of these key issues: the pricing, production concerns, and also, transparency. I understand that we have Bedford Berefa back. Bedford, we lost you for a moment. It's great to have you back.
Thank you very much. So, like I was saying, it has been of concern for the last 27 years. And when the Bola Ahmed Tinubu government came on board, we also asserted our opinions, particularly seeing that our brother, our son, is the Minister of State, Petroleum Resources, in terms of Senator Enikin Lukobukuli. And we also raised concerns to say that, this need to come to the fore. That is production need to be on full speed, as it were. But kudos to him, he listened to advice by saying that bring a technocrat to yourself, bring people that have been in this business for long, to surrounding yourself to ensure that this Port Harcourt refinery comes to a full production. And today, this is what it is. Though there are several controversies, which is expected. Of course, for the last 27 years, this thing has been moribund. What do you expect? There have to be some issues of pricing and all of that, and some other bottlenecks that needs to be covered. I'm sure that with the production that is on full speed, of course, some of these concerns of pricing and all of that will come to bear. Technocrats and stakeholders must be consulted to ensure that the direction is given for pricing and other concerns to be put to rest.
All right, let's look at the impact of this, particularly on the region itself. We know that before now, there have been talks and calls that refinery comes into operation. There's also the issue of environmental impact, particularly on that region. How do you think this will be properly managed now that we have a functional refinery in that area? I know there's one basic concern or major concern is the issue of gas flaring, for instance.
All right, gas flaring, there's a law that is behind that has said that royalties should be given to communities of issues of gas flare. Those are age-long issues. Of course, and the environmental concerns has been on board even before the refinery came to manifestation, as it were. So the issues of environmental impact assets, I'm sure before this refinery is coming on board, some of all of those environmental impact assets have been carried out, and the teams and the eyes have been dotted to ensure that there is an all-inclusive calculation to ensure that the environment is safe and production is also optimal. The Lagos refinery also has some of those environmental bottlenecks, but of course, as it is, those concerns we call on the NNPCL, we call on particularly our son who is from this region, Senator Lobobri, to look at these concerns and ensure that due diligence is done for environmental issues and other issues surrounding the functionality of the Port Harcourt refinery. Of course, like we all know, perfection is only a gift that is set aside for God alone, for the God entity. Of course, we are humans, and human error are bound to happen. However, continuous review of production and continuous review of the functionalities of the Port Harcourt refinery will give the needed solution and to ameliorate some of these concerns that are being fast spreading. But kudos to Mr. President, kudos to the minister for having listened ears to the region's cry to say that this refinery must come up to full speed. Billions of dollars have been sunk in. Now it is time for us to indeed participate and enjoy, the dividend of democracy. This also coupled with the tax reform that is coming. It is coming very handy for us as region, as Ijaw people. We are very happy that this refinery is coming on board.
Well, how does this? I'm sorry. I would also want to know, because you represent the Youth Council, for instance. How do you see this impacting on job creation for young persons?
Okay, for the Port Harcourt refinery, yes, there are multiplying effects of refinery, in operational in the region. There are direct employment and indirect employment that will span up in the region. And like we have always told our youth, that we should prepare for opportunities by being educated, by carrying, participating in strategic, career choices that will be of help and need, for regional development and the national development. And this operational of the Port Harcourt refinery has provided that opportunity for petrochemical engineers, has provided that opportunity for mechanical engineers, for civil engineer, and all our other direct, and even the market women that sell pure water by the street. There will be that direct impact of the operation of this Port Harcourt refinery. Because at the time, you see that over 2,000, 3,000 or 5,000 persons are benefiting directly from the Port Harcourt refinery, and by multiplier effect, over 50,000 persons will be indirectly affected by this Port Harcourt refinery positively, to also speak to the financial and economic possibilities of the region and by and large the nation at large.
All right.
So it's a welcome development. We are hopeful, and we call on all youth to build capacity so that they can also be useful as the operation
of this particular refinery. But I'd like to say a big thank you to you, Bedford Berefa, for your time on the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful for having me, and thank you so much. And we hope that this is not another form of politics, but that it has come to stay. Port Harcourt Refinery has come to stay. By extension, the Warri Refinery should also come to operation, and by extension, every other sector that in Nigeria need to work, because we are passionate Nigerians and we want Nigeria to work.
I mean, before I let you go, you said, let's hope that this is not another form of politics. Are you one of those who maybe believe or are pretty much skeptic as regards its operation? Do you have reservations?
Of course, something has been moribund for 27 years and has come to operation. Of course, we must have concerns, and skepticism is part of criticism, and skepticism is part of life. We must be empirical in our decision. We hope it's not another politics, because of course the Niger Delta, the Nigerian state has been playing politics. The politicians have been playing politics with our emotions, but we hope and pray this is not another gimmicks of the presidency, to sabotage their effort of billions of naira sink into this project. We are hopeful, and we know by the grace of God this will not be another politics, because it will have lasting impact on the economy of the nation, and particularly the Niger Delta region and the entire nation at large.
Bedford, do you see this impacting on the price of petrol, for instance, where at least now that the Port Harcourt Refinery is on, even though that there are concerns as regards the no price tag issue, do you see maybe in the shortest possible time it's impacting on the pump price of petrol in the country?
Of course, yes. Because when there's competition, it reduces price. The issue, for instance, the telecommunication company, when it was monopolized, of course, the issue of that monopoly was very strong. But as soon as it was decentralized, you could see competition bring down price. Or we see, speaking to the future of this Port Harcourt Refinery coming on board, I foresee price coming down to even 14 naira per barrel. That is what per liter.
Sorry, did you say 14 or 14 naira? Sorry, be specific. Did you say 14? Did you say 14, 14 or 40 naira per liter?
40, I meant to say.
40
naira per liter.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
When we were making calls, it was huge amount of naira for 1 minute. I remember making calls for 200 naira per minute in my village. But of course now a call rate has reduced. Okay. So when there's competition, price usually must decrease.
Should drop. All right. Thank you so much for your time once again. Bedford Berefa is the national spokesperson for the Ijaw Youth Council Worldwide. Once again, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right.